So here's a good question. Do thorium-fueled reactors eliminate the possibility of proliferation?
The short answer is not necessarily. So first off, we need a little bit of a background on what thorium reactors are and what traditional uranium reactors are. In traditional light water reactors, they use uranium-235 as their fuel source. And in naturally occurring settings, naturally occurring uranium only has about 0.7% uranium-235 in it. You have to enrich it to about 3 to 5%. For thorium, none of the isotopes are fissionable. You actually have to bombard thorium with neutrons to turn it into uranium-233, which is readily fissionable. And that brings me to my first point on the reason why thorium reactors are not necessarily as immune to proliferation as people might say they are. In order to breed that thorium into the usable uranium, you need to put them in a breeder reactor using enriched uranium. So enriched uranium is still required, and typically these designs have a higher enrichment than your traditional designs of uranium reactors. Now, to be fair, you could use that uranium-233 that you start breeding over time instead of using your enriched uranium. But that brings me to another point. Uranium-233 is also usable in weapons design. The main counter argument that I've heard to that is the main reason why people say that thorium reactors are proliferation immune. And that's because when you're producing uranium-233 during that breeding process, you're also producing uranium-232, which is a nasty isotope that has a lot of darter products that make it very difficult to produce weapons. It makes handling all those materials really difficult, and it could even make it to where it melts. But there's another problem there. There's a thing called protactinium, and you can actually take protactinium when you're breeding thorium to uranium-233. It's between those two different isotopes. Take pure protactinium during that process and let it decay into pure uranium-233 with no uranium-232. And now you can use that uranium-233 for bomb making. That's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it is a possibility, making thorium not immune to proliferation. Even though I'm saying this, I don't think that thorium reactors or traditional reactors are a major proliferation concern. And I'll talk about that in part 2.